Welcome into Ravens Rundown. I am Tom Downey here with the post-game reaction, rumors, and some injury news that's not good for the Ravens as, boy, that one really got away from them. Baltimore loses on the road in a nasty, mean, hard AFC North slugfest, 20-19 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got the game, the potential, go ahead, score late. They score. They're down one. They go for two. I love it. I love the aggression. That is the John Harbaugh mindset. Lamar cannot hit Mark Andrews under pressure, and the Ravens lose a game they really should have had against Pittsburgh, 20-19. What is your one-word reaction to this Ravens loss by the Steelers? As your votes come in, mine is this: blown, and not in the fun way. The Ravens should have won this game. They were the better team. They are the better team. And they let it slip away due in large part to 17 fourth quarter points. They had the game, and they blew it. The Ravens score only 19 points in this one. They did turn it over the one time. 219 passing yards, some sacks brought down that number. The ground game was not that effective. They were 8 of 16 on third downs. They controlled the clock. They didn't consistently finish off the drives that they had. And the defense allowed Big Ben and Deontay Johnson in particular to heat up as the game went on. And the Ravens come up short against Pittsburgh. A disappointing, frustrating, and borderline unacceptable loss for a team that could have extended and kept their lead as the number one seed in the AFC. So I want you to grade the Ravens' performance against the Pittsburgh Steelers. A, B, C, D, or F. How you feeling about how the Ravens fared in this game? This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if you want to be mean, if you want to be angry and flunk them, I get it. Head down to the comment section. You get the ad break here on YouTube. It's the pinned comment is where you can type your votes. A, B, C, D, or F. Adding injury to insult, is this really bad news for Baltimore? Marlon Humphrey has suffered a shoulder injury. Now, John Harbaugh, after the game, said he was going to get an MRI, could be out for a while, did not disclose what the injury was, but Ian Rappaport has the news. It is a shoulder, and it is expected to be a season-ending injury. That is the suspected injury is the proper terminology there. A brutal injury for the Ravens. Humphrey is a star corner. This Ravens team has been decimated all year long with injuries. Now they lose arguably their best defensive player for the entire season. They're already down other corners on this roster. They've been injured all year. If it is indeed a season-ending injury for Marlon Humphrey, it is just the latest in a massive long line of list of blows for the Ravens that will drastically impact their playoff hopes in terms of making a deep run this season. Mekari also got hurt, left the game with a hand injury. He was ruled doubtful to return and then, did not return. He also briefly left the game with an injury and then came back and then got the hand injury. So I don't know what his severity is. We'll find out. If Mekari cannot go, a team that is already down their starting left tackle, which put the right tackle, Alejandro Villanueva, over to the left side, backup guard Tyree Phillips will then take over at the right tackle spot. Again, it has just been a massive laundry list of injuries for the Ravens so far this year. The O-line not helping the quarterback, Lamar Jackson, he wasn't bad, but you need more out of Lamar, and I know he can do more. I mean, you saw how good he was on that final drive outside of the missed two-point try, which the pressure kind of gets a decent amount of blame there off the fingertips of Mark Andrews. But Lamar Jackson needs to be just a little bit more. When you've got all these injuries, it puts your quarterback in a tough position. I get that. He's got to do more, though. He's a little bit reckless with the football. He misses some throws. I get that. It's okay. He made plays down the stretch. I'm more inclined to blame the defense for allowing the Steelers to march the ball almost at will in the fourth quarter, but you want a little bit more out of Lamar. And overall this year, the turnovers been a real problem. He's had way too many of those this season. So I want you to be honest with me in the comment section. Are you worried about Lamar Jackson? Type in Y for yes or N for no. The common thread, I believe, from the past couple of games really is this. Lamar has to stop turning the football over. The Ravens, if we're being honest, have been at least a little bit lucky this year in those one-score games. Look, you lost against the Raiders, but you beat the Chiefs by 1, the Lions by 2. You rallied/held on against the Colts. You barely beat the Vikings. You barely beat the Bears. You barely beat the Browns. Been a lot of narrow games for the Ravens. They are due to lose some of those, and as we'll get into, a tricky schedule means they are not a playoff lock quite yet. Now, it is the holiday season. If you're like me, you have no idea what you want for Christmas or whatever because you don't know. You're a weird person. NFL jerseys, how about Ravens jerseys? You can get them for under $90 at chatsports.com/Ravens jersey. Now, not every jersey is under $90. That Lamar in black is. The Mark Andrews inverted color, which I actually kind of like, is under $90. The Odafe Owe is more than $90, which, makes some sense, right? He is, after all, first-year player, a rook. Damn good rook, though. Check out the comments section and the description. That link is in there, chatsports.com/Ravens jersey. The AFC North standings. Ravens and Bengals both lost. It keeps the Steelers in the mix. The Browns hanging around as the Ravens' lead remains just 1 game. They could have gone up by 2 and put themselves in position to run the North. Instead, the Ravens blew this game. They should have won. They did not capitalize. The defense kind of collapsed down the stretch. They let old, broken Big Ben torch them in the end, and that is a problem for Baltimore as they move forward. So this is the current AFC playoff picture. The Ravens were the number 1 seed. They slide down, though. They drop to number 3. They sit behind the Patriots and the Titans, of course, with the Patriots still set to play the Bills on Monday Night Football. The Chiefs and Broncos playing as we film this on Sunday Night Football. Chargers, Bengals, Broncos, Steelers, Colts, Raiders, or maybe the Dolphins, and the Bengals are all a game or 2 games out of the playoff hunt. That makes things just incredibly dicey and dangerous as we sit in the current playoff picture for the AFC. For the Ravens, meanwhile, they've got to find a way to get going and get some more wins here. Their schedule is not the easiest down the stretch. At the Browns, versus the Packers, at the Bengals, versus the Rams, versus Steelers. 2 wins, 3 wins, should get them at least a wild card spot, but there's an outside chance they're playing 5 playoff teams down the stretch. I don't think it's 5. It might be more like 3 or maybe 2 if things get weird. But it's not easy the rest of the way for the Ravens. And make no mistake, they want that number 1 seed, get that bye. So how confident are you in the Ravens getting the number 1 seed this year? Rate this on a scale of 1 to 100. 1 being you've got no confidence team is going to wilt and fold and collapse down the stretch. 100 being you think they are the best team in the NFL and they're going to close things in impressive fashion. Some more notes on various players. Mark Andrews was, I thought, okay in this one. Not a great target-to-catch ratio. I'm not going to call it a drop on that 2-point try. It did go off his fingertips. I blame the pressure more than anything. Steelers did a good job from that front. But, you need Lamar and Mark to connect on that play. Devonta Freeman, I think pretty clearly has taken over as the number 1 back in Baltimore. He had 14 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown, plus 5 catches for 45 yards. He vastly outproduced and outsnapped Latavius Murray. So fantasy-wise, it's a no-brainer. Freeman's the guy you want. As for Murray, look, he doesn't have that much left in the tank. He did a nice job pass catching. I think Freeman's the route to focus on moving forward. Now, if you want more free videos on the Ravens, including more updates on Marlon Humphrey as things move forward, hit that big red button and subscribe today. That way you don't miss out on anything here on Baltimore Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Some Steelers players I want to mention in terms of their impact against the Ravens. Big Ben closed the game super strong. I think this is his last year. I don't think he's that good. It was really disappointing to see the Steelers take advantage of the Ravens defense the way they did in the fourth quarter. That cannot happen for Baltimore if they want to make a real playoff push. Najee Harris, 21 carries, 71 yards. The efficiency woes continue, but the volume is oh so impressive. I thought he played pretty well overall, was pretty valuable in the passing game, but nobody had a better game than Deontay Johnson. Bottled up for most of the first half. He stepped up down the stretch, 8 catches, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. They ran that little, not really a smash concept, but dual post routes, and Johnson's man got rubbed, and he's wide open. Easy touchdown. Johnson played great for the Steelers in the Ravens' loss, and a big reason why Baltimore is now just clinging to their AFC North lead.